Yeah, I'm Felix SCHAAD. I work for a newspaper in Zurich, Switzerland. You understand my English? Yes. I hope my English will do it, and otherwise you will help me, please. Huh? Yeah, that's the newspaper I work for. It's a daily newspaper in Zurich, and I'm an employee of the newspaper, which is a bit special. I think I'm the only employed caricaturist in Switzerland, which really the whole work is for this newspaper. So I have 3 times a week I have a front page. This was the front page from Tuesday, my newest. Then I came here to Kiev. I brought along some of my works. You won't recognize me either because it's not sharp. Here on the computer it's sharp, you're not, sorry about that. But I hope you will recognize Donald Trump on the picture. So I wanted to make a short history introduction about my work, so that you get to know me. The first part of the masterclass will be funny, and the second part will be a bit sad. I hope that's okay. Yeah, we have here a caricature from 2017, and try to recognize that is Donald Trump taking a woman between the legs, and here, that's the joke of it, is the arm of Vladimir Putin taking between the legs of Donald Trump. So this caricature, this really went around the world. Though people loved it and it sprayed all over. I hope maybe that Donald Trump himself saw it, maybe, because he's so addicted to all this media. And it won the prize as the best cartoon in Switzerland for the last year. So an interesting thing about Donald Trump and all the work we do in cartoons, caricatures, we try to make the world better, to show the bad guys, to show how it should go. But in fact, we love the bad guys. So this is strange, because we, the cartoonists, we live because of the bad guys. If they won't be here, we won't have work. So at the end, when Donald Trump was elected, we said, oh, thank you, now we have a lot of work to do. This is great, and he's a great guy to draw. Were you the lesson before? I think Roto talked already about Donald Trump. So let me also say 1 or 2 words about him, and because he's so a great guy to draw and to work about. So his hair, huh? So every cartoonist has his own style to draw his hair. So mine, you won't see it, is like that. Yeah, huh? You recognize that? Down. This. Down, the hair goes down. Yeah, now he has very strong blonde. I don't know how it's called. The nose is not too big. Then his mouth. Though everyone has his own style to draw it. So I'll make it like that. And then he had a huge chin. So about that. So if I had a yellow thing, I would we could color it. And now a major thing is also, yes, now it's too short. But he has very small hands. It's very important. When I made this cartoon, some guy from the United States wrote me, the hands are too big. So now I made the hands always very small. And what is very important, his tie is always too long. So his tie goes in the cartoons like there. You won't see it. The tie has to be long, the hands very small. So, at the end, we love Donald Trump. And we love all the bad guys. And if they have a nice face or nice hair, so we love them much more. So let's go on. Yeah. So you see, this is another cartoon from the newspaper, and you see what's great in the newspaper I work for. This is they like cartoons. They want to have it, and it was the day after the election in the United States, but we in Europe didn't know yet who it was, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. So I made a cartoon about the election. Uncle Sam, who a guy is saying, and the winner is, and he says, my ulcer, his stomach ulcer. You understand this?
Yeah.
Okay, about like that. But what was nice was the newspaper, the whole page for me. That's really unique. And that's a very strong thing. And this newspaper I work for has a tradition for cartoons for over 40 years. They always had cartoons, and normally when they don't have no money anymore, and that's normal in the newspapers today, the cartoonist is the first, they say goodbye. And I'm very glad they like cartoons as they do. So yeah, this is another cartoon, now not about Donald Trump, but about Switzerland, where I come from. It's paradise. So you see we have guys who wave with the flags, and we have the mountains and the Alps. But you see this is not Switzerland normally, so you can translate this, you understand this word, suicide. So, because Switzerland is the only country, as far as I know, in Europe where you can legally make suicide. And someone can assist you, not help you, assist you. So we had a lot of people, tourists, ill tourists coming to Switzerland for suicide. So this is a drawing about our nice country having these people there. Yeah, normally I make cartoons about, in Switzerland, about, what is Switzerland known for? Do you know it? Chocolate, watch, cheese, money, yeah, money and drugs, and chocolate, and cows. So, normally I do cartoons about drugs, Tamiflu, you know, it's against the flu. They recognize that it has no, doesn't help. And these are the guys who get the money. And these are the side effects of Tamiflu. So in Switzerland it's all about drugs and money. So, and these are our bankers. Swiss has a lot of bankers, and you see that's where the guys work. These are all criminals. So when you enter a bank and they show you the guys who work there, so they look like criminals. And this, when I have a lot to draw about sports, and when I draw about sport, I draw Roger Federer. You know him? Anybody knows him? Yeah, thank you. Yeah, he's the champion of modern tennis, and I have always to draw Roger Federer. For now, 18 years I do it. Yeah, so I did also pictures about Ukraine. I had some of them. Here I have one I made when the OSCE, how do you call it? OSCE, yeah, come to help the conflict in East Ukraine. They like to help, yeah. So you see, and what is nice is that I could use also your nice flag to have in it, so the picture is getting much stronger if you can draw with symbols. Oh, let's go back again. Yeah, that's what my work for the newspaper, my funny work. So we have seen Donald Trump, and let's talk for short time also how works these funny pictures, why they work. I think Rodo talked about also a bit maybe. I hope I don't say the same things. But you know where the word caricature comes from? From caricare. That means to overload a jar. So it means to do too much to a thing. So if you draw something, drawing is a much of a free thing, so you can do whatever you like. That's very nice. It's not like writing or whatever, so it's very free. So if you draw a guy, so now the nose. In funny pictures, the nose is always big. You recognize already? Fun is always big noses. So, but drawing a nose, so that is nice in when you are a caricaturist. You can decide. You can decide whatever you make, or you can say, okay. So we have to use that because we are so free. And I mean, if the nose is so long, you know Pinocchio? Yeah. You have already the symbol of Pinocchio. If you make them, and if the people don't know it, you make also. So this is already politician now with the nose. So it's very, you can very fast make work with symbols and make a hint to somewhere. And if you have two politicians who fight, so you can draw them like that. I draw very fast. I hope you will recognize at the end. So you have two liars fighting together, right wing, left wing. But how do they fight? They do fighting like that, but with their noses. So you can use the nose for whatever you like. We have a very famous politician in Switzerland. The most famous politician is Christoph Blocher. He's the leader of the People's Party in Switzerland, which is the most strong party. Very traditional, very against the European Union. They are the guys who say, no, never into the European Union. So he's now I guess he's over 70, but he's very famous in Switzerland. He's very short nose, white hair, here a bit, always a bit like that. But He's famous for his underlip. So I started to make this lip like that, and then the next drawing was like that. And today, when I draw him, he has a lip like that. And the readers love it. They like it if I draw him with his underlip. So I don't know if he likes it, but I know, I have to admit, this guy at the end buys cartoons about him. So we give him really all, and at the end he buys the cartoons. That's very special. So, Swiss People Party. So, but I also wrote a book about, which I made. You can have a look into it if you're interested about my works now, wherever you want, whenever you want. Let's now talk about a work which is not so fun, but also very interesting. So you're going in direction of journalism, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So normally that's the work as I presented you, but 3 years ago I got in contact with Doctors Without Borders, and they asked me to do a drawn reportage, kind of comic reportage.